Okay, the Speakmans are back and they're here to help me quit smoking, hopefully. But we've also got Chris Bracewell in now. He's not just addicted to cigarettes, he's also addicted to nicotine tablets. Chris, thanks for coming in, and Nick and Eva, thanks as ever for coming in. We'll start with you. Is this a good thing then that we're using July the 1st as an excuse?
You know what, Nina, I think it's absolutely fantastic because looking at, I know the smokers out there probably don't think so, but I think it's one of the best things that's happened to this country, because just think about how many lives are going to be saved because people are just going to use this as a reason to give up smoking. Yep. So that in itself deserves a Mexican wave. Will you join me, please?
I'll start it. Oh, Chris, God bless
It's too early.
Now, people say they're addicted to the habit of it, and for me, I feel like it is habitual, but for Chris, it's obviously an entirely different case.
Chris's is really quite unusual.
Well, tell us about...
Yeah, basically, I started smoking when I was 15, kind of not very many. As I sort of got older, to the end of my teens, it would maybe be between 10 a day, and then sort of early teens, I think I smoked up to 50 a day at one point.
Wow.
And anyway, 6 years ago, I thought, right, I'm going to stop, and I went on to nicotine lozenges, which have been great. I've not really craved the cigarettes. Occasionally, socially, I've gone out and I've smoked, but in my head, I've agreed with myself that that's what I'm doing. But I don't think about cigarettes during the day. As long as I've got my lozenges, I'm fine, but I have to have my lozenges whether I go...
When you say you have to have them, tell us about your routine.
In the morning, I wake up. Sometimes I'm really tired and not had enough sleep. Before I've got my head off the pillow, I'll reach out, get a lozenge and put it in my mouth before I've got out of bed. I have 12 a day, sorry, 6 a day, but I cut them in half, so it's like 12 fixes, and I've always literally got one in my mouth. So it's...
Do you time them?
No, sometimes I think because I'm so used to having something in my mouth as well, that's part of it. But I do at work, or I get kind of, I need another.
It's got to be quite restrictive though, if you're going on holiday or...
That's it, I go to Sweden quite a lot, so I've always got to make sure, you know, I take plenty with me.
How would you feel if somebody said, right, you can't access any of them today?
Well, one day I went to work and I keep them in my pocket. As I sort of got towards work, I was like this, I can't find them anywhere. And I had the day from hell. I was shouting at my colleagues, I was really aggressive, nasty, and I felt in a really terrible mood. And then they just said, go to the chemist now and get some more lozenges, because they couldn't deal with me.
Are they expensive?
About £9 a pack, but it's...
And how long does a pack last?
Sort of a few days, maybe.
It's almost as expensive as
smoking,
smoking, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Is this unusual, Eva?
It is actually, yeah. I mean, the lozenge, I've got to be honest, I actually think that, again, it's habitual. It's not an addiction. You've just got yourself a habit.
If we had our way, we would have the word addiction taken straight out of the dictionary, because it automatically makes something more clinical, more medical, whereas
and it gives an excuse as well. If you think I've got an addiction, then it's like, oh, it's all right, I've got an addiction.
Do you feel like it's physical? Do you feel like you physically need it?
Yeah, quite recently I thought, right, I'm going to go cold turkey and not have my lozenges, and I sort of felt like I'd had no sleep. My sort of head felt tingly and my vision felt a bit funny.
You see, I think the words that Chris uses and the story that he tells himself says it all, really, because you've given these tablets just so much like power in your life. You know, I can't lift my head up and I'm grumpy if I don't have one. So it's no wonder that you have this habit because of the story that Chris is telling himself.
Okay, now different cases with me and Chris. How are you going to approach it?
With Chris?
Well, with both of us.
All right, well, the thing with smoking or any, dare I use the term addiction, is very different to the phobias that we've worked with on the show before, because a phobia is something that someone has made this neuro association in the mind of a one-off event, and then they've just reconfirmed it over a period of time. Let's say the lady with the cat phobia, you know, she'd see a cat probably once a month and just reconfirm this. The difference with smoking and with the nicotine issue here is that it's a habit that you've formed, and you're reconfirming that habit every single day.
Okay, so today we're just running short of time, but today we're going to have you're going to have a chat with us, but there's no guarantee that it's going to work today.
No, I would expect a situation with a habit to take about 2 or 3 sessions. Okay,
well, we best get cracking then. Thanks, Paul. Now, the Speakmans were on holiday for the next couple of weeks, but before they went, they caught up with one of their challenges to cure a man of his addiction to nicotine lozenges.
So, Chris, it's a while since we saw you.
It is.
And you came to see us with this habit that you had with the nicotine lozenges. So can you just tell us a bit more about it? As it was, should I say.
Before I came to see you, I'd been on the nicotine lozenges for 6 years, and I'd also been smoking socially as well. On top of that, I'd have a pack of 6 lozenges a day, but I'd break those into half, so really having 12 fixes. And they kind of sort of ruled my life. They ruled me.
What was the cost of that?
About £12 a week. For 1.5 packs a week I'd go through.
And what would happen if you didn't have lozenges?
I was irritable, I'd be angry. I also had this fear of not having lozenges with me or not being able to have a lozenge. So I go to Sweden quite a lot, so I have to take good supplies with me across if I go anywhere or any situation. I always had to have these lozenges with me. So they kind of sort of ruled my life.
Rule your life. But what was ironic is you started on the lozenges to give up smoking, but you were still smoking as well.
I was, yeah. I think I sort of said to myself, I'll socially smoke. I had that kind of agreement with myself, but if I had cigarettes that went sort of overspilled into the week, once I'd finished a cigarette, I'd have a lozenge straight after, so I wouldn't. I don't know why I did. I just had to have this constant fix of nicotine.
So you said to us that you felt chained to the lozenges,
yeah, very much.
And you wanted to be set free. So we worked with you. So tell us what's going on now.
I've not had a single lozenge since. I will never ever have a single lozenge ever again in my whole life, and I feel great.
That is tremendous. That is so determined.
I feel I've got this willpower that's just like appeared from nowhere. In the past, I would have said I had no willpower. I was weak, but that all just sort of.
Can I say that you look completely different. Your posture, and just when I saw you today, you actually are oozing sort of confidence. And you do look just like...
I know, I think Chris's skin looks a lot better as well.
I do feel better. I feel like
great.
it's been like a total detox, and it feels great. I kind of feel normal again, if that makes sense.
That's absolutely fantastic. It's people like you, Chris, that really makes our job worthwhile, because it's great to see.
It really is seeing such a vast difference between when we saw you before and now.
How do you find the treatment?
Great. I think I needed it explained and being put in this situation as I was, because it was something that I didn't think was possible, and it really, really helped me. It was great.
That's fantastic. It really is, isn't it?
Very much.
I like the way that you said, though, this is I'll never take them again for the rest of my life. I mean, that's, it shows determination, and it shows that you've got yourself back, because you did, as you quite rightly said, you become weak, you become a slave to these lozenges, and to think that a grown man relies on a little tablet is, it's pretty ridiculous, isn't it? But it is. I mean, but you can laugh about it now, which is fantastic.
But we're so proud of it, and I do think that it's Mexican wave time, don't you think? Here
I think we need it. Go on.
I'm right back, Chris.
Come on,
Chris. Well
Fabulous.
done.
Honestly, we're really, really pleased for you. You've done fantastic there,
Yeah,
Chris.
well done.
Thank you.